let's just talk a little bit about your foundation. What caused you to start the Flora May Foundation?
Well, it was a personal situation. I had difficulties with one of my children, and I went looking for help outside of my house, because when you're dealing with mental health issues, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, as they say.
Right.
So I was shocked that there wasn't more resources, that there aren't more resources for the parents, because when you have a minor, you're responsible for them.
Absolutely.
And, they really can't do much without you signing off on it legally up until they're 18. So I wanted to fill that void by offering parents a place they can call if they're unsure. It could be a very simple issue. My child is just not showing up to school anymore. And parents call us for questions about getting their child into rehab.
Yeah.
If necessary, for either substance abuse or mental health.
Okay.
So it still is an area of nonprofit that has not been very well tapped. And that was the guiding force in creating the Flora May Foundation, was to be there for parents so they weren't stuck like me.
Hello, and welcome to the Leadership Reality Podcast with your girl, Taiji Charity. This podcast is for C-suite leaders to discuss their experiences and provide insight, encouragement, and inspiration for seasoned and inspiring leaders, offering valuable solutions to today's challenges that will inspire, ignite, and invigorate new and seasoned leaders to walk in their God-given authority with compassion, kindness, and empathy. So sit back, relax, and be prepared to be inspired with today's episode of Leadership Reality. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Leadership Realities with me, Taiji Charity, where we will be sharing tales from the top. My LinkedIn friend is here today, Miss Debbie Hansen. Guided by the spirit of her ancestors, Debbie founded the Flora May Foundation to create a legacy of hope and empowerment for parents of at-risk adolescents. The foundation provides vital resources, including free consultation, therapy, emergency transportation, and support groups to help parents navigate their toughest challenges with compassion. Despite early funding and partnership obstacles, I can relate, Debbie's strategic approach led to a strong relationship with donors and her community. The Flora May Foundation has been recognized for its impactful work, earning the 2023 Outstanding Nonprofit of the Year Award, and Debbie being named the 2022 Woman of the Year in the nonprofit sector. I like that. The foundation has also received honors from the U.S. Senate, U.S. Congress, and the California State Assembly. Beyond its core services, the foundation engages in pro bono efforts like locating lost children and donating goods to hospitals. It also launched the Working Women Winning Workforce Development Program, furthering its mission to uplift families in crisis. Debbie, welcome to Leadership Realities.
Thank you, Taiji. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for showing up. And also, I just learned you drove all the way from Orange County to be here with us today. Or even past Orange County, right?
Oh, I'm closer to San Diego County.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was looking forward to this.
Yay. I'm super excited because I called Debbie my LinkedIn friend because all of a sudden, it's probably more than 2 years ago, I would always see these likes and love and comments by Debbie. And I was like, who is Debbie? And then I started reading about your organization. I was like, I like her.
And I love what Kids in the Spotlight does.
Thank you.
In helping foster children by allowing them to write, create, edit.
Yeah.
I guess they can't produce.
Well, they're producers. Yeah, they're producers as well.
Oh, God. Okay.
Absolutely. No, well, tell us, let's just talk a little bit about your foundation. What caused you to start the Flora May Foundation? We heard a little bit about it. Of course, I love the fact being guided by my ancestors. I can totally relate.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the mission, a little more about the mission, and really what really led you to starting it?
Well, it was a personal situation. I had difficulties with one of my children.
Okay.
And I went looking for help outside of my house, because when when you're dealing with mental health issues, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, as they say.
Right.
So I was shocked that there wasn't more resources, that there aren't more resources for the parents, because when you have a minor, you're responsible for them.
Absolutely.
And, you know, they really can't do much without you signing off on it legally up until they're 18. So I wanted to fill that void by offering parents a place they can call if they're unsure. It could be a very simple issue. You know, my child is just not showing up to school anymore, to high school or grade school even, to them abusing fentanyl, to undiagnosed mental health issues. So those are the type of topics, and parents call us for questions about getting their child into rehab, you know, if necessary, for either substance abuse or mental health.
Okay.
So it still is an area of nonprofit that has not been very well tapped. And that was the guiding force in creating the Flora May Foundation, was to be there for our parents so they weren't stuck like me.
Yeah.
There's a form of embarrassment, there's shame involved. I didn't want to talk to my family about it. I didn't want to violate my child's privacy.
Right.
So, you know, it's a slippery slope.
Well, I really appreciate people like you. When you see a need, you step in and fill the gap. And it is hard. I'm sure it's not always easy, but you've created this amazing foundation. You're supporting families, and now you are the 2023 Woman of the Nonprofit World. Congratulations again on that. That is an amazing honor for you,
so
as
much.
well as your nonprofit organization. So, but I want to ask you though, when did you first realize your leadership qualities, or that you are a leader?
When I was in 4th grade.
Okay, I love these elementary school leaders we get to meet. Tell me about it.
It's true though. I tried out for, my school had a championship performance team, and everybody wanted to be on it because they had been undefeated for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I tried out. I did not make the 40-member team, which was pretty sad because I came from a small school in Downey. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
And 4 years later, in 8th grade, I tried out to become captain of the team, and I made it. I worked every day for 4 hours, come rain or shine, in those 4 years, to make sure I had everything I was supposed to learn perfected.
Yes.
So it taught me endurance, determination. I was never so determined in my life. And then it was an opportunity to learn how to lead. Because I was never a leader of a group of people. I wasn't even the leader of a study group, for heaven's sake. So I was happy that people thought I could handle that role. And sometimes you have to put faith in people that may not be where you think they are.
Right.
To give them, a lot of people flourish in those situations where you give them a leadership position.
Right.
And I feel there was a little bit of that along with the judges' scores.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that. I talk about that with, you know, just some of our youth. Sometimes just give them an opportunity to shine. And they will do it every time. But sometimes you have to present that opportunity. And in your case, it sounds like you experienced rejection first. That sort of propelled you. So rejection can either cause you to diminish all of the greatness on the inside of you, or it can pull all the greatness out of you.
Perfectly
where you
said.
can then, where you can then operate and discover things about yourself you didn't even know.
Right.
I love that. And I joke about our elementary school guests who discovered their leadership in elementary school. But I too can relate. But mine was so very different. I was trying to get out of class, and I was thinking of strategic ways that I can do something creative to get, and this was like 4th grade. And I was like, wait a minute, I should do a puppet show at the school and raise money for the March of Dime. And I raised my hand and I told my 4th grade teacher, I was like, I want to do a puppet show for the whole entire school to raise money for March of Dime. And we'll create puppets. And she said yes, and sent me to the principal's office to ask if it was okay.
Oh, wow.
The principal said yes. I put a team together. We created permission slips for all of the classes to send home for their moms to give a dime for them to participate. And we had a whole day of doing these little skits. And I was
oh my gosh, that's
great. I discovered my leadership qualities in elementary school too, but for the wrong reasons.
Right, but they did, and that gave you a platform, so to speak, of being in charge of other people. I'm sure you didn't do that alone.
Right, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I want to know more about you building your foundation. How many people do you have on your team?
So, well, our team consists of a board of directors. We have 2 staff members.
Okay.
We have 23 volunteers and 5 interns that work for us.
And how do you manage all of these people? What is the culture, I guess, of your organization like?
Well, I take that philosophy of putting people in positions of power.
Yes.
I believe in that, and I try to do that with our interns by letting them handle things that usually I want to handle, because you know how it is being a CEO of a nonprofit. It's your baby.
Yes.
It's your baby, and you want to know what's going out.
Right.
You want to know what is being put out to the public. And if you miss a beat, that could be a big boo-boo, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So trusting the team around you.
Trusting the team, believing in them.
And believing in them, absolutely.
Yeah, it goes a long way. Encouragement is my style of leadership.
Yeah.
Encouragement, empathy, but focused.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I've got to keep the vision in line. So,
Yeah.
you know, people may stray here and there and go off on tangents with their work.
Yeah.
But, you know, I rail them in.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I know, I love the number of volunteers you have. And it's so funny because we get calls all the time from people saying, I want to volunteer, what do you need? And I've learned to ask people, well, what do you have to offer? Because I hate the idea of putting people in places where they're not good at. So I need to know from any volunteer, like, what is your strength? What do you like to do? How do you, knowing what you know about the organization, how do you think you could best contribute? And if we have a need, then I can plug you in there versus just saying, oh, come over and do this, which might not be a great fit for you. How do you manage people that want to come and volunteer? How do you link your volunteers with your work you're doing?
Well, it's probably 50-50, similar in how you are picking, you know, asking people what their skills are, where they think they would be most helpful.
Yeah.
And knowing their skills helps you to help them.
Absolutely.
And the other half is me trusting that they can do the job. You know, which is difficult. Again, you know, not going back to the same thing, but I like to have my hand, you know, at least I like to have vision into everything.
Yeah.
But I'm learning to let go of the reins and say, okay, social media, you can do your thing.
Yes.
You don't need to ask me for approval on, you know, 4 posts a day that you're making.
And if it's young people, truth is they know it better than us anyway.
They do. They really do.
I'm always learning something new. I had one of our amazing interns actually who gave you a tour today. He was giving me these little buzzwords like, you put hashtag follow me, something like that. I'm like, oh, really? What does that do? And we started using it. So
what does it do?
Amazing. We'll find out because I don't remember what the hashtag was. I just know that it helps spread. Yes. No, it helps spread the message to a larger audience. I guess within the algorithms, it reads this particular hashtag and it just sort of generates more engagement and more eyes on the post. So I was like, okay. Well, you know better than me. Yeah. So let's do it.
Yeah. I love when you hire people that teach you things.
Absolutely.
Isn't that the best?
It is the absolute best. Well, I purposely try to hire people that I know are smarter than me. That for me, I do it on purpose.
Of course.
Because I'm a visionary. Like I can see the big picture and I need to bring the people alongside me who know how to roll it out. But I know all the in-between steps. I'm always looking at things from a bird's eye view. But the people that can just jump in and get it, because I can learn it.
Right.
But it'll take me forever.
Right.
I got challenges.
Yeah. You got work to do.
I got work. It took me a long time to figure this out. You already know how to do it, right? You go ahead and do it. So I purposely align myself with people who can just sort of take the torch and run. And then I have to also just kind of really learn to trust, like you said earlier.
Right.
Because even though you hire these people that you know can do the job, sometimes it's still hard. You still kind of want to have your hands, navigating and overseeing the whole process.
Right. Speaking of a place that I have found our best volunteers, if you're interested in knowing, do you guys have Nextdoor? It's a app.
That sounds very familiar.
I know.
I don't think we use it, but I have heard of it.
It's a neighborhood, like people's lost dogs, they need a plumber, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every time I make a post in there asking for volunteers, I get at least one overly qualified volunteer / donor.
Okay.
Because a lot of the people on our team, they're donors. Our board, they're donors.
Absolutely.
And that means a lot. That they're investing back into the work we're doing.
That's a great tip, everybody. Nextdoor. It's an app?
Nextdoor. It's an app, and it's by neighborhood. So you're not going to get people from Orange County. You're going to get localized people.
Okay.
So there might be 4 grids for Van Nuys, for example. 4 neighborhoods or 14.
Right. That's really good. So it's based on zip code, I'm assuming.
Right. And you'll find a lot of newly retired people who still want to be busy and be a part of something.
Yes.
So those make the best volunteers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that we tap into Nextdoor.
Yeah, you should. It's a missed, overlooked gem.
Yeah.
For reaching the right people. People that care seem to be on Nextdoor.
Right.
I don't work for them either.
But that was a good ad. I like that because you got, Nextdoor, you got a new customer coming your way, okay? So let me ask you, what inspired the name Flora May Foundation? What inspired the name?
Well, I didn't even have to think twice about it. Flora May Hansen is my mother, was my mother. She passed away 1 year ago on Monday.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. She was 96 when she died, so she had a full life.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and raised 9 children. I'm number 8.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
You learned leadership skills at home.
Oh, yes, I had to.
Fend.
With 5 brothers, my sisters were pretty much out of the house when I grew up. So I grew up with 5 brothers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I did learn to fend for myself.
Wow.
I don't know about how the leadership skills fit in.
Well, when you're fending for yourself, you got to think outside the box. You got to think creatively. So what was an average day in your home, though? What was that like?
It was crazy. People over all the time. Everybody has friends. We had a dining table that had 15 chairs on it, a very long dining room table. And we sat down to dinner every single night. My mom would make.
I love that.
She would rotate. We'd have something Monday, something Tuesday. We'd know ahead of time what it would be like. But, and my family, they're my biggest cheerleaders.
That's the best.
It's to have built-in support.
Absolutely.
It's nice. And we're still very close. We vacation every year. We go to Yosemite and camp.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great to have a solid foundation and a solid, support system. But what greater honor than to name your organization after your
her
mother.
Well, she was a hospital volunteer for most of her life.
Oh, wow.
And her mother was also a hospital volunteer almost till the day she died in her 80s. And she was lauded. I have LA Times newspaper clippings about her and her determination to give back. She lived a very modest life. Amazing. She wasn't rich, and whenever she got money for being in a magazine that profiled her for her volunteer work. I think her average was 14,000 hours a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and she took the bus from Norwalk to El Segundo every time she volunteered.
Amazing.
One of those times she got hit by a car that came. She was sitting at the bus stop. They're right next to the highway. She got hit. They had her last rites read. They ended up putting a rod in her back. But she continued. She was back on the beat within no time.
Wow. And she lived to be 94, 96?
Well, that was my mom. My Nana was she was younger when she died. She might have been about 80.
Okay.
Yeah, but so they both had that very stringent, or not stringent, that's the wrong word, desire and obligation to give back.
Love that.
You know, there's a story my daughter, she wrote that is on our website. It's kind of cute. My mom would pick my daughters up. I had twin daughters. She'd pick them up on Wednesdays when they were young after school and take them out driving around to the 99-cent store, to McDonald's, and taking them to religious education. And when they'd be driving around, you'll see people on the side of the freeway with signs saying, you know, need money or something to that effect. And my mom never knew, do they really need the money, or do they want, are they hungry?
Right.
And so with that in mind, she would assemble palletfuls of bags that she'd keep in the back of her car with a roll of nickels, peanut butter cookies, crackers, a toothbrush, toothpaste, bottled water, and she would give them those bags.
Wow.
Because she'd know, okay, they're going to use a roll of quarters. If they have laundry, they can go do laundry. Everything had a purpose.
Yes.
You know, it was
I love
just,
that.
And my kids saw that.
Yes.
And that's so crucial, that
to model that,
to hear that
absolutely
from my kids made me just, I already know how special my mom is. She raised me, but for my kids to see it was special.
Well, I just appreciate the way you honor your mom and the way you honor her and her legacy, especially just the name of the organization. It's such a huge honor, and I'm sure she was just extremely proud of all the work that you're doing.
Yes, I whatever I did, she was proud of. She was proud of my typing. I mean, you know.
You wake up in the morning and she's like, yeah, that's my baby. I'm proud. I'm proud.
Look at her.
Look at her. I love it. And you said 8 or 9?
9 kids.
9 kids. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So let me ask you, what significant insights have you gained throughout your journey?
Well, I think we both agree on hiring people who are smarter and better and have more, have different views than I do. Not goals, different, that have the same goals, but different viewpoints.
Specify that. Different what? Say that again for me.
Different viewpoints.
But not different.
Not different goals. The goals
that's important.
Need to be. It is very important because if you don't have a shared goal, you're going to have a divide like our presidential races right now.
Whoo, this has been this is about to be a political day here, I see. No, but that's very important because we see how division can just tear.
Yeah, it can tear
an organization apart, a family apart, a country apart.
Right.
Wow. Well, thank you, because we do have to share those. So I also want to know, what are some of the challenges or realities you face as a leader, and how have you navigated those challenges?
Our biggest challenge to date is awareness. Awareness of what we do, who we are, who we serve, our services, you name it.
Yeah.
So to overcome that, I became involved with 2 foundations in Orange County that are made up of CEOs of nonprofits and other types of businesses that are interested in the nonprofit industry, which I'd say it's 50-50.
Okay.
And I do a 10-minute presentation, or each, you could do one. You know, if I nominate you, you could do it.
Okay.
And the audience, they go to work on, after I tell them our hurdle, which is awareness, they came back with suggestions that blew me away.
Really?
Absolutely. It was so well worth it. It's a breakfast series, Leadership Summit.
Love that.
So we took those suggestions and we're still implementing them. You know, it's hard to hit every school and, you know, the district.
Right.
And knowing who to go to first, who to approach first. Do you go to the district or do you go to the school?
Right.
So I'm just beginning that process because we're our parents. That's our target audience.
Yeah.
parents, well, their kids are at school, so we can reach them somehow through the school, be it if it's a flyer that they shove in with their papers that they take home,
right,
or providing a program for the kids. You know, we partner with Uplift Foundation, Uplift Youth Foundation, and they offer yoga classes for kids and stuff like those type of events. When you do them on the school premise itself, that helps spread awareness. Parents come and pick up their kids, and so that's working.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's important for CEOs to be out in the community.
Absolutely.
And networking and connecting with organizations like you just mentioned. So is this something where you all meet every month, or is it just sort of you get invited quarterly? Okay.
Quarterly.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm a part of a CEO leadership program called City Scholars, and I think we have a mutual friend, Miss Betty Lamar.
Yes.
I call her my shero, but Miss Betty Lamar and I met at City Scholars, and it was somewhat similar, where we show up and fellowship with other CEOs and really talk about some of our challenges that we have. We share ideas and resources, and it also helps us, at least me in particular, to know that if I'm facing a challenge, that I have a group of people that I can trust and lean on, but also that I'm not alone. Like, oh, you faced that already? It's not an isolated incident? Thank you. Because, you know, I think all of my challenges are just, oh, well, it's just me. But it's very intriguing and very, I don't want to say satisfying, because I hate the fact that people have challenges, but it's very comforting, I think, is what I'm looking for, just to know that you're not alone on the journey, that other CEOs may have faced something that you've already faced, and they can help you navigate through it.
Absolutely.
So that's just amazing.
Yeah.
And the founder, I think, is out of Orange County. Well, not think, but our founder of City Scholars, she's out in Orange County as well. Yes. We meet downtown LA, but she commutes from Orange County.
That's wonderful. I'll have to get her name.
Yes, Kellyanne Hoger. We'll talk about that offline, because I love to be able to nominate you. But let's talk about some of the services that you provide, because in spreading awareness, let's take an opportunity right now to just really talk about some of those services that that the Flora May Foundation provides.
So I specifically set out to partner with nonprofits and other agencies that could help the people we're serving. So, for example, therapists, we have partners who offer the therapy, the free therapy that we provide to the families if they need it, if they want it. It's there. A lot of people are low income that we serve, so that tends to come in handy. To you know, they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford you know, counseling. We offer emergency transportation through a partner of ours, which also includes airline transportation. So if a family's in a specific, like a domestic situation that might not be too pretty, where the one parent needs to flee with the kid, we can get them out of the state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, through our partners at no cost to them in a private plane.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's the, how do one get in contact with your organization if they're in need of some of the services you provide? And I'm assuming the services are not just in the Orange County area.
No, they're not.
You spread it? So how does someone get in contact with your organization when they need to reach you?
They call us.
Okay.
They call us.
Okay. And your website? I'm assuming you have a website.
Our phone number's on our website, and it's on most of our social media, I believe. It should be.
Okay. And you're on Instagram, LinkedIn? Because we can share some of those links as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazon. I'm not Amazon, Lord. Shopping on the brand. Amazon. Amazon, can you help promote? All right. So we have Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok.
Facebook. No TikTok yet.
No TikTok. Okay. Facebook.
No TikTok yet.
That's what your young people are going to do for you. They'll put you on TikTok.
They were trying to get me to do that yesterday.
I got
to watch all kinds of reels on it. They're like, we got to get on TikTok. We got to get on TikTok.
There you go. You
second that motion.
I understand. I totally understand. So I want to know, in terms of some of the leaders that you've admired, who are some of those people that have sort of helped you in terms of how you lead?
Well, a leader that I most admire is Jerry Rosen.
Okay.
She founded Working Wardrobes, and working wardrobes helps people attain jobs.
Okay.
They clothe them. With interview clothing, they do offer workforce development programs. And she was the one who pioneered this whole one-stop shop process. And we do a little bit of what they do, but we're partnered with them as well. So if our clients need clothing from our workforce development program, we would refer them to Working Wardrobes, where they'll just get them all set up and interview ready. So it's symbiotic, and that's why, not to change the subject, but partnering, I'm huge on that.
It's important.
Because referrals, cross referrals,
absolutely,
those are important and not to be overlooked.
Absolutely. And funders like to see when you collaborate with other organizations. Because they feel like their money goes a lot further when you can connect with other organizations and do the work that you're doing. So that's great.
Right.
That you have that partnership.
Yeah, and it gives them more exposure as well. It's a domino effect.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Tell me, how would your team describe you as a leader?
They would describe me as honest.
Good.
Focused. And persistent.
Very important qualities as a leader. Very, very important.
Yeah, the persistence just came with my DNA.
Well, you gotta be, because I read in your bio, it's like when you face these challenges with funding, you had to take a different route. You had to think strategically.
Absolutely.
You had to be persistent. And as nonprofit leaders, it just comes with the territory. Right?
Exactly.
And I don't know about you, but I think everybody that knows me know I do not like asking for money. Like, that is the hardest part.
It is.
Of the work for me is having to ask for money. I understand my why. I know why I'm asking, but it's still just, things that I've experienced sort of makes me a little bit more cautious and uncomfortable, I should say.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I completely understand. That's one of the things. It is not enjoyable or my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, but we keep telling our story.
We do.
We keep showing up.
We keep showing up, keep writing those grants.
Absolutely.
Keep making more partners, keep getting out in the public, go to events, meet people you may have not, you need to know, or that you should know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's relationship building, I guess, 101. In a sense, right?
It is.
I think the hardest part for me in that was really creating these organic relationships versus relationships where I know I have an end goal in mind. Right. That's the part that was always hard for me. Like, yes, I want to know you, but I also know that I have an ask, I have a request. So I tend to kind of shy away from even getting to know you when I know there's an ask on the other end.
Yeah.
Because you kind of really want just this organic connection. You want to share what you do, share the impact of what you do, and really want them to be inspired to say, I want to align with what you're doing.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That's
how it rolled.
Wouldn't it be?
Yeah. From your words to your mouth to God's ears.
But we do have to take it a step further. We have to sometimes just make the ask.
Right.
And some of the people want to be. They want to know, how can I help? So you have to be willing to just make that ask.
Right. And I like what you said about you have to be strategic.
Yes.
Because it's true. I mean, I was in sales before I was in nonprofit.
Oh, so you're used to people telling you no.
Yes, I am. But, I don't know why it's different, but it is.
It is. It's more personal.
I have more yeses than nos.
Yeah, I applaud you on that one. I'm trying to get to that side of it, but no, we've been blessed. We've been really blessed. But yes.
Yeah.
Good. So what, as we get ready to bring this interview to a close, what advice would you give aspiring leaders? People that, like you, see a need and feel like, I really want to be the answer to that need, but I don't even know how to get started. What would you tell them? I would
tell them to get a mentor, someone they know and that they trust, who is in the nonprofit space. I am mentoring my nephew, who has a nonprofit as well in arts.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Arts for All. So he started his about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
And there are a lot of things he doesn't know that he asks that I've been able to help him out with, in a quick manner.
Yeah.
And also the importance of getting out in the community. You don't know what the community needs if you're not in it.
You got to show up.
You got to show up.
Showing up is half the battle.
It is.
My former pastor used to say that all the time. God rest his soul. But he would always say, showing up is half the battle.
It is. It's so true. So true.
Yeah.
So yeah, showing up, and of course, my favorite, partnering. You've got to make partnerships with other nonprofits. It's going to serve you well. What is the worst thing that could happen? Can you think of one?
Oh gosh. I mean, they're definitely mostly benefits to really partnering. I know for us as a young organization, I remember meeting with a much larger organization that was very interested in the work we do, and I went in 3 times sharing and providing all the details and the intricate details of what we do, only to find later that they were really taking the model to sort of create their own. And that's not what was disclosed. Yeah, so that for me, at starting early, I think that was around year 5 of the organization, that caused me to sort of question some partnership opportunities. But now I go in it very open-minded, like, well, how does this complement each other? I love collaboration, but how is this beneficial for both organizations? And for me, it's all about our young people. How can we together make a much bigger impact? So I just lead with that. Yeah. But that was probably one of my first experiences with trying to partner. And like I said, it was a much larger.
So did it make you gun shy?
It did.
It took the good feeling out of it. Yeah, I can see why.
It did. But I try not to allow that whole, what's the old rule, one bad apple spoils the whole
spoils the whole basket.
I try not to live by that. I'm like, okay, that was that experience.
Right.
But you get to create more experiences.
Yes.
And I don't want to deny an opportunity to be more impactful because of one experience.
Right.
So that's kind of how I look at it now.
Yeah.
I had some growing up to do. I had some maturing to do. As leaders, we are forever growing, right?
Right.
We are forever growing.
Well, thank goodness. I love to learn, and I hope to learn more from you as I watch you expand kids.
Thank you.
Kids in the spotlight.
Thank you. I just appreciate you because you're always very present on LinkedIn. I feel like we all have a cheerleader. I can count on Debbie to say, I like that. So thank you.
You're so welcome. I love what you do. So it's a genuine compliment or like and comment.
Yeah, just sharing each other's work. Well, we'll be sure to share your website as well as your social media handles. So if anybody need any services that the Flora May Foundation provides, you'll be able to see that in this podcast if you're watching via YouTube, or you'll be able to read it if you're watching via any of the other podcast channels. We want to make sure that we help you spread awareness about the work you do.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. As always, I can talk to my guests forever and ever. I probably have about 10 more questions I could ask Miss Debbie, but we have to land the plane. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Leadership Realities with me, Taiji Charity. And I need you to remember to do those 3 magical things: like, share, and subscribe. I hope you gained some valuable nuggets today on your leadership journey. Until next time, bye now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye, until next time.